You're listening to Operator.
Operator Radio. Welcome to the next part of Atlantis. Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for checking in. This is aQa live for the next hour. on live on Operator Radio. Good to be back on this sunny Thursday afternoon. It's Hemelvaartsdag. I have absolutely no idea how to translate that in English. So
Ascension Day.
Oh wow, thanks. The new guest already of value. Why not start with introducing him? For the next hour, we have a very special guest in the studio. This is Ruben de Lange, label founder of Dehumanize Records. And this show is fully dedicated to this new label who released his first release on the 26th of May. Fantastic EP by Cosmox, so I had to look that up already. That's a good start. Fantastic release by Cosmox, and that's the theme of the show. Ruben, welcome today.
Thanks for the invite, man.
Yeah, good to have you here. How are you doing?
Very good. Yeah, it's good to have a day off on Ascension Day.
I can imagine. You work full time as a freelancer. I know. We're going to dive a little bit into your work today, but even you are free on.
It's really a blessing today.
Yeah, good to have you. Hey, the reason you're here is of course because of the new label. We're going to talk a lot about it, but you also brought a lot of records, and I had to limit myself a bit for not peeking too much into it. Can you tell me what did I ask you today? What did I ask you to prepare?
Yeah, well, some records that really shaped my interest, which shaped my interest for electronic music in general, which is not only electronic music. There were many different genres, or there are still many different genres I like to listen to. I tried to bring a variety of records today from some different angles.
Fantastic. All right. Well, then you're going to take us on a musical journey today. But before we dive into your personal archive, I would like to a bit of an introduction on Dehumanize Records. What are we talking about here?
Yeah, Dehumanize is an interdisciplinary label from Rotterdam. It's really meant to be interdisciplinary, so not only focused on the music, but also on the artwork, collaboration between different disciplines. So for example, we have a writer, we have a graphic designer, and we have audio artists, of course, musicians. And it's really the idea to have them collaborate and work on the release themselves. So not me necessarily interfering in the process, but only steering a bit and let's see. It's a sort of like a research actually, from the different disciplines to create something together.
Yeah. And if you look at this first release, I already said it was the artist is Cosmox, and then the writer Thijs Boer, Sam Berendsen did the visual design for this specific release, and the overall design comes from Estate Duo.
Yeah.
Is this something that came together in an organic way either, or?
Well, actually, it started a bit with Thijs is obvious because it's a very good friend of mine. So we started thinking about the concept together.
It's not because he's a good writer, he's just...
As well, of course. Estate Duo we met them both after the Drift Festival.
Oh, really? Nice.
So
I didn't know, I never knew.
Yeah, we met Tijn there on our way back.
And this was which year?
22-ish, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm very terrible with years and names and stuff, so
right.
apologies for that.
No worries.
I think around that time, and then we got into talking with Tijn.
Yeah.
And Thijs working with Estate Duo, of course, for his other work, the Nachtwacht Rotterdam.
Yeah.
I familiarized myself as well and got in touch with Tijn and Sophie. And then they really started to think with me about the identity, the visual identity, but also the concept, which was extremely helpful and a very interesting process. And I think with Estate Duo we shaped primarily the feel, the look and feel, and guidance of the label as it is right now. Yeah.
Great, because I can imagine that this idea has been wandering around in your head for many years, and then at some point you decide that it has to come out. Before, I'm wondering, what was the trigger for you? When did you know, okay, now we're going actually to start working on it?
Actually the idea came many years back at a nice festival in Portugal, and then we did a radio show a couple of months at Onderwereld in The Hague, which unfortunately quit because of something else was
that's,
going on.
That's what happens. Yeah.
That's what happens. Yeah, exactly. And then I really started thinking like, okay, but I still really like the concept of Dehumanize.
Yeah.
What can we do with this concept? And that's where we slowly started to think about starting the label.
Yeah.
And I think maybe already 3 years ago, that we really started working on. Okay, that we really decided. Okay, it's going to be a label, and we're start working on the concept for the label. So it was quite a very, very long and intense journey, I have to say. Yeah.
And you told me that the idea rose at a festival in Portugal, but was there a trigger like for that you thought, okay, hey, maybe it's interesting for myself to start a label? I mean, there are many labels, of course. There are many good labels, electronic techno labels as well. Why do you want to have a label? Why do you want to add something to that?
I'm part of the electronic music scene for quite some time already, and it's really a part of my identity. It's really how I feel about the scene. It really shaped me the way I am at the moment. I'm very grateful for this scene. It brought me a lot, and I also, I work in different industries. I guess we're getting there later, but I also want to do something in this cultural or musical industry because I also want to give something back of what it brought me actually. So a bit of that, and of course you have a network and you have a lot of friends who do like really cool stuff, really amazing stuff, and I think it's they deserve a platform as well. Yeah, and that's few
Great.
reasons already.
No, more than enough. You're saying that this music brought you a lot, the electronic music. Now there's a record on the turntable already, which has a relationship with your connection to electronic music. Is there something you could tell about it?
In the past I was involved in the graffiti scene when I was a bit younger, and it was really fun time. There was also a graffiti movie from Rotterdam. It's called 10 Minutes, and 10 Minutes issue 2. And we watched it like a million times because of the mix. It was a crazy mix with ghetto, electro, techno stuff. And it just really got me. I grew up in a village nearby Rotterdam, so I didn't have too many friends involved in like underground electronic music. And then I saw this video and I was like, okay, wow, this is insane.
How old were you at the time?
I don't know exactly. I think 18 or so.
Oh yeah.
I think the first one is from 2018-ish.
And did you already like go clubbing and all that, or was it like?
However, my friends from the village always wanted to go to Stadhuisplein and stuff, So that was my.
They were really underground.
Wow, and I hated it from the start already. And I just went out on my own just to paint a few walls and stuff back then. And then later, when I got to school in Rotterdam again, I met a few other friends who also did graffiti and stuff, and they are still my best friends at the moment. So that's when I visited a techno party or electronic music party, and I was like blown away, like whoa, what the hell? Yeah. But this particular record from Alex Stark, TB Love, is on one of the movies. I think it's the first one. And it's just, it's still one of my favorite albums I have. I needed this vinyl.
Okay, fantastic. Well, put it on.
Yes.
All right. Thanks a lot, Ruben, for this nice introduction in your electronic music saga. Really nice stuff, Alex Stark. So we talked about it a little bit for the listeners here, because I heard a few stories about Alex Stark, that he used to produce these electro boxes. He did a lot of them with like amazing stuff from underground producers, very very small producers, and then it really was a way to amplify these producers who didn't have a large audience yet. So he made these boxes with 20, 30 records per box, and then he sold them at once. Fantastic electro, but in the whole the practical stuff was a bit limited. The boxes arrived like months late. There was no communication at all, and the last rumor says that he fucked it up so bad that he just flew away somewhere. Nobody knows. He owes money to a lot of people. So
took the highway to disco.
Exactly. So if we're talking about labels, this is a beautiful example how not to do it. And in that matter, I'm really wondering how did you, because you recently released your first release, of course, how did you know what to do? Because you're doing it by yourself. There are a lot of things coming your way. How did you manage that?
It's a bit like experimenting, actually. There was a lot more work involved than I previously thought, of course. Rookie mistake, I would say. You need to have these licenses from Buma Stemra in order to get the pressing plant started, for example. You have to find a solid pressing plant. Something I really learned. It's just a lot of things you have to figure out. However, again, STDO did another record, also from Cosmox before, so guided us a bit in the direction. So they know how to set up the artworks and stuff for production. So that was what made it a lot easier.
So the influence of STDO was really valuable.
Yeah, absolutely.
Knowing where to be.
Yeah.
Did they recommend the pressing place?
No, they didn't. I don't exactly know anymore how I got there. Maybe even by myself, because I heard a lot of good stories.
Yeah, let's keep it at that. Let's not throw somebody. Because let's get it out of the way. We're talking about what was the name again?
Deep Grooves.
Deep Grooves,
yes.
Based in Leeuwarden, Friesland.
Yep.
What is the horror story behind this?
Well, we were finally ready after all these years to order the first release, and you have to pay up front, of course. You're a new customer, so you have to pay the full amount up front. We did that. 1.5 weeks later, we got an email from like the mediator, the lawyer guy, that they went bankrupt. So we lost all our money. We tried everything. They were quite helpful as well, the new owners. Like, they offered us a new deal of like paying again, and then we can still press the first release. However, I was so devastated by this news that I directly got in touch. I was also already in touch with Clone for the distribution, and I told him the situation, like, okay, we're going to be delayed. And he said, try the record industry in Haarlem. We press all our records there, and they do it for like 50-ish somehow years already. Yeah, it's quite solid. And I didn't want to wait. It was such a negative experience, of course, that I just directly ordered at the record industry after a bit of tears and
oh my God,
blood and sweat.
I can imagine.
Anger, but it is what it is. There's really nothing to do about it.
No.
So
I guess not. But for somebody who's like pressing his first ever vinyl, it was a real
false start.
Yeah, incredibly sad story. So let's dive into the positive parts again. We're going to listen to another track of the label. It's the final track of the EP. Something to elaborate on, or should we just play it?
No, I guess we can just play it, actually.
All right, Sims Tim, here we go. Hey Ruben.
Yoo-hoo.
Hey Mister.
You.
I was wondering, if we look at the setup of the label, one thing that I found very fascinating was that you say that there is an equal role for all the different actors. So it's not necessarily specifically a music label. It's a label that pushes music, but that also pushes art, pushes stories, pushes a concept. Now, for each release, you work with different actors. How does that work? Because, for instance, Thijs, Sam, and Cosmox are all involved. I think many people who listen to or who explore this label, will focus mainly on the music. That's something that you're aware of course. How do you handle that?
Yeah, we at least, or to start with, we do series of 4 releases. So we have, this is the first chapter of 4. So at the end you will have like a story. You have a full catalog or a full story line to collect in your final cabinet. And it's really a research project. It's technology focused because I have I have a weird thing for technology somehow. It's always very interesting to me.
Yeah, it plays a big role in your life. Your job also influences a lot of technology, of course.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I work with drones for my other job, and to me, technology is very interesting because there's always this intersection between very positive and very negative stuff.
Yeah.
It can change people's lives in a very good and a very terrible way, and it's actually true for almost all technology. Also, the unknown is quite appealing to me. You know, it's just the unknown. I'm not necessarily afraid for the future, but just interested always to see what the future brings.
Yeah.
And I try to finally bridge the gap between my ordinary office work and the music industry to get those worlds a bit together. And to me, and I don't know how you experience that, but like the best events and the best records and the best experiences I ever had was when everything came together. The light plan, the sound was good, the people were nice, the weather, whatever. So if the entire thing is, focused and is working on the same, giving the same energy and everything is aligned, that will give the best experience, I think. And I think that's something
and that's the approach for the label as well.
Exactly. Yeah. It's not only the music, that's really short-sighted to think, it's the music, it's so nice. The real nice experience comes from, whoa, what the hell, all these lasers, and that the people were that's some stuff that is more on the background.
Yeah,
I usually feel, but it's equally important.
Great, good answer.
Thanks.
And so Sam Berends designed the cover, which I can show here. So the ones that are watching live see now something that looks like a picture of a cloud. That was also a bit of the problem, right? That it looked too much like a cloud.
Yeah, it's really difficult to animate this cloud. So it's made of a lot of different points, and people who do not look into a lot of detail, they would think it's like a picture of a cloud. So we try to get it a bit more abstract, to show that it's actually a processed animation. It's a computer graphic, and it's not a picture. Yeah. So it's of course quite challenging to do so.
Yeah, it's fantastically. I mean, it's a big compliment when it looks too much like the real stuff. But
exactly,
it looks great, and I also really like the element of STDO. So in the middle you see a small icon here, and that's a part of 4, right?
Exactly, that's the first icon, and we will get 3 more for the next release.
These you can see here on the back, like a little glimpse into the actual icons, and you can see more on the poster that's included as well.
Exactly.
Yeah. Hey, I just want to hear more music that inspired you also in discovering electronic music, in setting up the label. Can you give me one of your biggest electronic influences?
Yeah, well, goes without saying that I think this is true for a lot of us, but it is a Drexciya track. Drexciya nailed it. What we just talked about is like to have this general concept, and every gap is filled with something, with an experience or with a concept. Well, yeah, these guys did it. Like,
I think
perfectly.
if we look at the art of storytelling,
Yeah.
then I think perhaps in my humble opinion, there might be nobody who did it better than Drexciya, and they did it so puristic. So it was such a strong story. Like there were so many elements in it, like mechanically, technology, politics, of course.
Yeah, and also like making a story of electronic music is, they were so early to do this.
Yeah.
Like maybe the first even to really create a story of like non-vocal music.
Yeah.
It's insane. It's really insane.
Yeah, fantastic.
So-
Well, I always say no Atlantis without Drexciya, so I'm really pleased that you brought a Drexciya record today. Which track are we going to listen to?
Andrian Sand Dunes.
All right, the
Yeah.
big classic one. Put it
Yes.
on. Yeah. From Drexia to the Partisans.
Yes.
What a nice switch.
Yeah.
What were we listening to?
To the Partisans. To me, it's like really the definition of old school UK punk. I really like punk as well. So yeah, this is a really good album.
Yeah.
Every track on this album is really nice.
Yeah. Nice, good one. And punk has been something that you've been into for a long time already?
Yeah, even before electronic music, like skateboarding as a teenager across the neighborhood, and again inspired by skate movies. Then in this this time, a lot of punk, a lot of metal, a lot of that kind of stuff.
Great. Hey, I was boxing last Tuesday at the box hall where you are also going to regularly if one of us is not injured, which happens a lot, unfortunately. And then I spoke with Don.
Yeah.
And he said that he was listening to the show. So Don, if you're locked in,
hey man,
nice to see you.
See you Tuesday.
And let's hope so. Yeah. And he made a nice remark because he said, why is this label called Dehumanize? Because we need more humanity. I mean, why would we want to dehumanize?
Yeah.
What's your answer to Don?
It's not necessarily like that we want to dehumanize. We want to at least take distance about the word dehumanize in like the war context, of course. That's just terrible. It's totally not the meaning of what we try to do with dehumanize. The idea came from the dehumanization through technology. So AI takes our jobs, or again, what we just briefly spoke about as well. It's like there are positive sides and negative sides on technology, and it's just we keep it a bit in the middle if it's negative or positive.
Yeah, it's hard to say.
It's hard to say, but in the end, I think it's also still quite a cool name.
Yeah,
it's also important, right? Yeah. And but it's really like thinking about the dehumanization by technology or something. You know,
it's more about awareness than as a goal.
Exactly, absolutely. You know, it can be. We also intend to do in the future some research papers, for example, about how technology impacts our lives.
Fantastic.
That's something I would really like to do. Let's see if that's really the case, but it doesn't look too promising in my opinion. Like with all the AI and the power we would need from it and the energy we drain from the planet, we're going towards dehumanization, I would say.
Yeah. Okay. So it's not just awareness; it's also a bit of a warning.
I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah. And is this something that you would like to involve further in the label? You were talking about a research paper. Can you elaborate a bit?
Yeah, it's still in like an exploration phase at the moment. But we are an interdisciplinary label, so to me it would be super nice to work with researchers, universities, or writers, journalists, or whatever to which write about a certain thing in the technology industry, for example. You have, like, for example, Dutch journalist Huib Modderkolk, who wrote some very nice books about cybersecurity and stuff, which really inspired me as well. So that would be something really nice, like Tegenlicht. The Tegenlicht documentary is also focused on AI and the impact of AI. It's really interesting and really inspires me to think about, like, I didn't know that, or this or that, and it makes you a bit aware of how you're using the technology, which is something I would like to focus on with the label as well. Yeah.
And if we look at the music of Cosmox, is this theme, this identity actually of the label, is this something that he was aware of when producing the tracks? Is there a relationship between the two?
Yeah, very good question. Yeah, he's really produced these tracks for the label. While he already has like 200 other finished tracks, but still went to work on that, so that's really nice. And I thought it as well for the beginning of the label, and I think for this entire series we're looking for this, like, it's experimental, can be club tracks on it as well, but more like this experimental IDM-ish sort of music to go with the exploration phase we are ourselves even in as well.
Yeah,
if that makes any sense. Like the first of the label, so we're also trying to find our direction currently, and I think this kind of music, we are already working on the second one as well. This kind of music really, backs this idea quite good, I would say. Yeah.
All right. I would love to hear more right now from Cosmox, but we're not going to like give it all away. If you want to hear the full story, buy the record on a vinyl. You can buy it in Rotterdam at Cologne. More record shops in Rotterdam or?
Not that I'm aware of at the moment. You can either go to Bandcamp or to Cologne.
Yeah.
And
okay.
Cologne will take care of the global distribution. So.
Here we go. Okay. Hey, next record. Also personal inspiration. We're going to Casablanca, Morocco.
Yeah.
To Casa Voyage, label by Dries Benis. What are we going to listen to?
This track is insane. It's really insane. Yeah, it's just, well, you will hear it, but it's such a unique, electro-ish, funky. It's just insane. I get goosebumps directly already, even by talking about it.
Put it on.
It's really nice
yeah.
track.
Let's stop the talking and start the listening. Dehumanize, aka OCB. Really, really, really nice. We're going into we're almost at the last track already, because it's almost time. Unfortunately, I have so much more that I want to check out, want to find out about the label, but we'll save that for another time. Before we play the last track of today, I'm wondering, you told me this record is a part of a four-piece concept, so to speak.
Yeah.
You're already working on the second one, you told me. Is there anything you can say about it?
Yeah, well, at least for the rest of the series, the producer, so the musician will change. So that's another one. But Sam and Thijs will still be the same
nice.
Collaborators.
Is the idea that for the third and the fourth part they are also involved?
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So we keep that the same, and we have another musician every chapter.
Yeah, so four musicians.
4 musicians,
okay.
Yeah, correct. Yeah. And we hope to order the second release this year. Maybe even release it, but I think that will be a difficult one already, with the summer holidays in sight, and we're just at the start of the second one. So I think it would be safe to say that will be next year.
Yeah.
And next year we're then aiming for another 2 releases.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay, already thinking about what's going to happen after these first 4 releases, or is that still?
That's there's going to be a new series, and that's going to be exciting again. It's new collaborators, and no idea about that yet so far. And in the meantime, we're also going to launch the podcast series.
Okay.
As well, which is coming from June-ish.
Super. Okay, a lot of stuff to look forward to. Ruben, I want to thank you for joining me in the Atlantis show. It was really nice to have you here. It was really nice to hear more about the label, about the record, and wishing you all the best in the future. I'm going to follow it. If you want to stay tuned about the label, check out their Bandcamp, obviously, dehumanize.bandcamp.com. Are there any other ways where people can stay up to speed?
Instagram is Dehumanize the Planet, and we have a SoundCloud, but we will post that on Instagram as well. But primarily, if you want to be updated about the releases and all the label activities, we plan to do that through Bandcamp.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, get your ass to Clone or to Bandcamp. Get this record before it's sold out. We're going into the last record of today. It's my personal favorite of this release because it has such a huge energy without being like corny or in any kind of way. It's also a sound that I hear a lot in The Hague and in Amsterdam, but not much in Rotterdam.
True.
So that's I really like that that this is also included in the EP. Track is called Technomancer. Anything you wanna say, or are we there?
It's a super nice track, and I want to thank you as well for the invitation and for the nice conversation. So thanks.
My pleasure. Okay, here we go. Cosmox with Technomancer.
You're listening to Operator.